All right, now that we have the basic measurements done, which I have right here, I'm going to show you now with these measurements that I have collected how to take the measurements and start redrawing the part that you saw in the camera. So my first step is always to go to Create, New Document. We're going to call this the iMac RAM Tray Project 2018 and hit OK. Now always when you go into we want to make sure that you are doing these steps first. So the first step is, hold on a second here, I want to make sure that this isn't grayed out. So here we go. Now you can see it. Good. All right, so the first step is to go over to your planes and go to the front plane and left click on the front plane eyeball. Notice that gets rid of that. Do the same thing to the right plane eyeball, left click on it with your mouse, and you've gotten rid of the other planes. Go immediately to the cube and left click on the top so you're looking straight down. That is always the standard steps. And then the last step to do is go up to the 3 bars, go down to where it says workspace units, and change the default length unit from inches to millimeters, since that's what I measured in, and hit check. Now you're ready to go. So to start drawing, we're going to go to Sketch, and then I'm going to bring my mouse to the plane when it turns orange, and I'm going to left click. Now I'm going to pull up the notes so we can start drawing. Now the first thing I need to do is draw something that has the width of 12.75 millimeters and the length of 162. So I'm going to come up to my rectangle tool, I'm going to left click on the arrow and go to center point. I'm going to left click on the origin when I see that shape appear telling me that I'm tangent on the point, and I'm going to left click once, and I'm going to slowly pull my mouse down like so, and then pull it over to the right and click. Now the first box you can see is right here. Now don't ever click with your mouse, don't touch anything, just let it pop up. Type in 162 and hit enter, and then type in 12.75 and hit enter. So now some constraints. Okay, so anyway, let me just double check that. Escape this and let me delete that and see what I did wrong. Or actually, let me redo it. So let me redo whatever I did. I must have done something weird. So I'm going to do this again. Click center point, left click when it's tangent. I'm going to left click. I'm going to type 162 and hit enter. Then I'm going to type in 12.75 and hit enter. I don't know what I did, but sometimes it's best to restart. Now I know the thickness, if I pull up the sticky note, was 1 millimeter. So all I have to do is go up to the top left corner and extrude and type in 1 and hit enter and hit check. All right, now I have the shape pretty much of the RAM tray cover. So what I'm going to do is go on top and I'm going to figure out how to do that 2.25 corner on here. But actually I think I want to do that in the end so I can establish some points here. So let's go ahead and draw the rails. So if you remember, I measured it from the top left corner up here. So I'm going to look at the part like this. I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to come up to here, and I'm going to go Sketch, left click Sketch, and left click on the face. Now, I remember to draw the rails, let's pull up the notes, that the rails were, starting position was over 0.8 and down 0.34. So I'm going to come up to the line tool. And if you don't see this dot pop up when you bring your mouse, always use the Use tool and left click on the dot right there so you can use it. So I'm going to come click on the line. I'm going to left click on the line, and I'm going to slowly just follow the line when it turns yellow and click. So I'm going to type in 0.80 and hit enter. And then I'm going to go straight down. You see that it shows 90 degrees, and I'm going to type in 3.4. Now I know that's the top left corner of the rail. So I'm about ready to draw the rail. What I'm going to do next is go look at the rail and see the width. So it's 4.2 millimeters in width. Or I'm sorry, its thickness is 0.60. So I'm going to go over, the width is pretty much going to be what we extrude. The thickness is 0.60. So all I have to do, hold on, is draw my line over to the right, 0.60 0.60 and hit enter. Now I'm going to start the line going down, go back to my measurements, and the length was 154.35. 154.35 and hit enter. So I'm going to zoom out. So now all I have to do is basically go back to here. Now notice I don't have to do anything because it tells me that I'm lined up with that point. So all I have to do is come out until I see that yellow line and click, and it should be 0.60 anyway. And then I'm going to take the line and go all the way back to the top. Here we go, and I'm going to click right here. Now the last step before I do anything is to go find the midpoint with my line tool. I'm still in it. Find the midpoint, left click, go down, go to the mirror tool, left click on it, left click on that line I drew in the midpoint, and start left clicking on the lines like so. So we can draw the rails the way we want to. All right, so here we go. Last one I got to click is here. And then all I'm going to do now is go extrude. And I know that they need to be a height of 4.20. So I'm going to type 4.20 and hit enter and hit check. Now I have the basic shape. All that's left for me to do now is to round off the corners and to put the circles where they go. Now what I'm going to do is do exactly what I did in the video, and I'm going to start sketching out the circles and demo that for you and show you how you can round out this corner. So the first step is to go to sketch, left click on the face, and then let's pull up the measurements again, and the measurements show that the circle position is 3 over on the X and 2.5 down on the Y. So I'm going to come click on the face again, left click on my line tool. Now if you don't see that point, you can always go to the use tool and click on the point to generate it. So I'm going to go over 3 millimeters, and I believe down 2.5 millimeters. And then I'm going to go to the circle tool, left click, and I'm going to type 2 and hit enter. Now, according to my measurements, all I have to do is draw a line over from here, 3 millimeters. Go draw a circle right there, that's 2 millimeters. All right, undo, let me undo, let's see what I did wrong. Okay, so let me delete something after that. I'm gonna get rid of this line now. Oh, that line inside of it was restricting it. So that's the issue. So let me undo that and show you. The problem was right here to here. Once I established that, it doesn't want me to change anything. So now I'm going to do is go back to I'm going to go up to the dimension tool, left click on the circle and type 2 and hit enter. Same process. I'm now going to go over 3 millimeters and hit enter. I'm going to draw a circle, and this is where I made the mistake on the last one, and I'll fix it. And left click, and then I'm going to go ahead and take the scissors and delete these lines. Go to dimension tool, click on the circle, type in, oops, not 3. So let me double click on that and change it to 2. All right, so you can see the pattern. Now all I have to do is go check, and if I want to, I'll keep drawing all the way down the part, and I can extrude and remove. I'll go ahead and remove some of these just to show you. I'm left clicking on them, and I'll go extrude and remove, check. I would keep following this process all the way down until I'm done. Now what I'm going to do is go up to this top left corner, and I'm going to try to take off that 2.25 radius. So I'm going to go sketch, left click here. I'm going to try an experiment. I'm going to left click and go down 2.25. I'm going to go over. Okay, that's definitely not going to work. So let me undo that. This is where the hard part comes in. Well, I'll try it. Go over 2.25. And then if I draw a circle to this point, let's see what happens. There it is. I was right. So I did it right. I just second guessed myself. Remember, I measured the radius which was basically halfway to the center of where the circle would be. And now I'm going to left click. Now I'm going to take my scissor tool, and what I need to do is come find that midpoint right here. Or actually, not even do that. I'm going to right click escape. I can click on this wedge up here, left click, and I can go extrude, and I can go remove. And notice I've rounded off that radius. Remember, the radius would be from here to here, which is halfway in the circle. And I can go check. Now I'm going to right click and go edit this sketch, and I'm going to mirror this and see what happens. So I'm going to click on the line tool, find the midpoint, left click, go down, and then I'm going to click on my mirror tool, click on this line, and click. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to draw a line, find the midpoint on this part, which is right here. Left click and come out. Go mirror, click on the line, click on the circle, click on the circle. All right, now let's see what happened. Okay, well that didn't work. Not down there, so I might have to redraw these guys. So that's okay. Now what I'm going to do is hit check, and let's see if it extrudes. And it doesn't. That's okay. Right click, edit extrude. Click on this face right here, and it'll extrude it. So now I've got the top piece done, and I'm ready to move on. So what I'm going to do next is the same process down here. When you get down here, you're basically going to do what I did at the top. You're going to come over here and go sketch, left click on the face, draw down 2.25, go over to the right, straight 2.25, hit enter, draw a circle from this point to this point. You'll come find the midpoint, go down, you'll mirror that line, click on the circle, you'll right click escape, you'll left click this face right here, and you'll left click this face right here, and you're going to go extrude, and you're going to go to remove and check. All right, I'm almost done. All that's left for me now is simply finding the circle locations and tracing them down. Now I'm going to see if I made any real big mistakes. It looks like I might be off maybe a little bit, so I would need to go back and verify what it is, but for the most part it's going to be okay. These kind of look like they need to shift over on the X. Not a big deal, but you can see in 20 minutes teaching, I almost completely reverse engineered this part and can make it however I want to make it. Good luck on this project. You're going to have to finish all the circles. I've taken you all the way through it. Please model with the calipers what I do so you get familiarized with how to use them. Good luck.